Every single day, 1,700 people cross the threshold into millionaire status. That's over 620,000 brand new millionaires every year. Think about that for a moment. While most are stuck wondering if it's even possible, others are quietly positioning themselves in just the right place at the right time. The secret? It's all about how the marketplace values you. If the world believes your skills, your ideas, or your business are worth $1 million or more, it will pay you accordingly. We dug deep into the stories of real individuals who hit that $1 million mark, some in unexpected ways. And who knows, maybe one of these sparks the idea that changes everything for you. So here they are, 13 powerful ways to make your first $1 million. No fluff, no order, just real paths that work. Number 1, imagine being in the top 1%, not of society, but of your profession. It sounds simple, almost too obvious, but that's where most people overlook the gold. One of the fastest paths to $1 million? Master a high-income skill in a lucrative field. Doctors, consultants, and executives in the US and Europe consistently earn over $150,000 a year. But the real leverage comes when you specialize. When you become the best at what you do, that's when your value multiplies. Double it, triple it, and suddenly that $1 million milestone doesn't feel so far away. But here's the twist. You don't need a decade of schooling or a fancy degree to break into a high-paying profession. The hidden gem? Sales. It has one of the lowest barriers to entry. And yet, the top 1% of salespeople earn up to $250,000 a year or more. That means some of them quietly cross the $1 million line in just 4 years, with nothing but persuasion, grit, and strategy. And the best part, sales is a skill that echoes through every wealth-building strategy you'll ever hear about. So if you're looking for a real edge, this might just be your starting point. Number 2, write several average-selling books. Here's the trap most people fall into when they think about making money from books. They believe they need to write the next Harry Potter or Hunger Games to stand a chance. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Sure, the odds of creating a global phenomenon are slim, but making your first $1 million from writing? That's a much more realistic goal, if you know how to play the game. It all comes down to strategy, not stardust. Most people don't realize this, but to become a New York Times best-selling author, you only need to sell around 10,000 copies. And if you've hit the list before, sometimes as few as 5,000. That's not millions of readers, it's a small loyal audience and the right timing. The key? Write, release, repeat. Keep putting your work out into the world until one book resonates. That's exactly how some of the biggest names did it. Take E.L. James, for example. You might not recognize her name instantly, but you've almost certainly heard of her work. She didn't follow the traditional path. In fact, her early drafts were rejected by fan fiction forums for being too explicit, but she persisted, releasing her now infamous novel through a small indie publisher that operated out of a fan fiction community. No fancy book deal, no agents in suits. Just raw content, curiosity, and a bit of risk. And what happened? The 50 Shades trilogy became a global wildfire. 165 million copies sold, Hollywood adaptations, and a publishing deal with one of the biggest names in the industry. Critics scoffed, but readers, they couldn't get enough. And that's the real secret. Books don't need to be perfect, they need to connect. And if you already have a podcast, blog, YouTube channel, or any audience at all, you're sitting on a goldmine. Your community wants to support you. Many will even pre-order your book, just to be part of your journey. So no, you don't need to write the next literary masterpiece. You just need to write something people care about, and be bold enough to share it. Number 3, license a patent or trademark to a major company. You don't have to build the next Apple to become wealthy. Sometimes, solving one small problem better than anyone else can unlock everything. Inventors, designers, engineers, if you can create something the world needs, something smarter, faster, cheaper, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Just look at Jerome Lemelson. He wasn't a household name, but he held over 550 patents, licensed across industries from electronics to heavy machinery. His intellectual property earned over $1.5 billion in licensing fees. He didn't run a company, he created ideas that other companies paid to use. Now here's a pro tip. Yes, patents can be expensive and complicated, but there's a clever workaround. If you've developed something original, document every detail meticulously. Save it on a USB or burn it to a CD, seal it in an envelope, and mail it to yourself. When it arrives, that postmark becomes a timestamp, proof that you had the idea first. Never open it unless you need to. In court, it could be your secret weapon. In business, it might be your ticket to a lucrative licensing deal, or at the very least, a settlement worth far more than most people earn in a lifetime. Innovation doesn't just change lives. Sometimes it changes bank accounts too. Number 4, start a dropshipping business under your own brand. Imagine running a company that sells products worldwide without ever touching inventory. That's the magic of dropshipping. You partner with a supplier, someone who handles production, packaging, and delivery. Your job? Build the brand and bring in the sales. Here's how it works. Let's say you find a supplier who can produce and ship a detox tea for just $5 a pack. You launch a website, position it as a premium lifestyle product, and sell it for $20. Every time someone orders, you send the $5 to the supplier, keeping the remaining $15 as pure profit. Sounds simple? That's exactly how Greta Van Riel built her empire. At just 22 years old, she launched a fitness tea brand that exploded on Instagram. Within 6 months, she was making over $1 million a month. During one of her product launches, she raked in over $1 million in a single day. All of it started from her laptop and a strong sense of branding. And she's not the only one. Now let's be real, dropshipping isn't easy. It's hyper-competitive and margins can be razor thin. But it's also one of the most accessible, beginner-friendly business models in the world. If you've got an eye for trends, the ability to tell a story, and a drive to test and refine, this might just be your path in. Because the barrier to entry is low, but the ceiling, that's entirely up to you. Number 5, start a small business and keep growing. While some of the strategies on this list are niche or unconventional, this one is timeless. In fact, it's how most self-made millionaires are created. They don't hit it big overnight. They build something small and scale it. This is the heart of the hustler's mindset. Solve a real problem, find a way to get paid for it, and slowly build a system that runs beyond just you. Whether it's a coffee cart, a digital service, or a neighborhood design studio, the formula is almost always the same. Start, test, grow, repeat. Yes, launching a business is tough. The beginning is often messy. But once you understand the rhythm, how to delegate, how to spot what moves the needle, it becomes a game of progress, not perfection. Most people already have a few business ideas floating around in their heads. What separates the successful? They act on them. And here's the truth. If you can get around the right people, or even better, a mentor who's already walked the path, what once felt overwhelming becomes crystal clear. The million-dollar question isn't can you do it? It's when will you decide to begin? Number 6, save aggressively and let your money work harder than you do. If you truly understood the power of compound interest, you'd treat every dollar like a seed for your future. Albert Einstein once called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. And he wasn't joking. Here's the idea. Take the money you save and invest it consistently, especially in index funds. Why? Because with a modest annual return of 7%, your money begins to multiply. Not linearly, but exponentially. And the longer you leave it, the louder that growth becomes. Let's break it down. If you earn $60,000 a year and save just 10%, it could take you nearly 50 years to hit that $1 million mark. But here's the twist. Who wants to be rich when they're old and grey? The real magic happens when you start tweaking the 3 variables. 1, how much you earn. 2, how much you save 3, how wisely you invest. While the first 2 depend on your hustle, the third, that's where smart investing comes in. Enter the S&P 500, an index made up of the top 500 companies in the US. It's self-correcting. If a company underperforms, it's removed and replaced with a better one. Over the past 90 years, it has averaged a 10% annual return. No need to pick stocks, time markets, or guess. Just invest consistently, stay patient, and let compound interest do its silent, relentless work. The road to $1 million might not be flashy, but if you stick with it, it's one of the most reliable paths there is. Number 7, become an influencer. A lot of people confuse influencers with content creators, but they play very different games. Content creators obsess over the craft, filmmaking, editing, scripting. Influencers, on the other hand, they focus on themselves, their brand, their presence, their visibility. And when it comes to making money, visibility is everything. Influencers build trust and connection. And trust, that's currency. To give you a sense of scale, top-tier influencers like Kylie Jenner can charge upwards of $2.38 million for a single Instagram post. Wild, right? But you don't need to be a celebrity to earn serious money. Let's say you've built a following of 500,000 to 1 million people with solid engagement between 3 to 5% and a portfolio of brand collaborations. You could easily charge $1,000 or more per sponsored post. And if your niche is something high converting, like beauty, fitness, tech, or luxury, those numbers can climb fast. The real power of being an influencer isn't just about follower count, it's about attention. When people know, like, and trust you, brands are more than willing to pay for access to your audience. So if you're building something online, remember this. You don't just need to be seen, you need to be followed. Number 8, buy a franchise and turn it into a success story. Not everyone's built to dream up the next big startup, and that's okay. If creativity isn't your strong suit, but you still want to own a business, a franchise might be your perfect shortcut to wealth. Why? Because someone else has already done the heavy lifting, built the brand, tested the systems, and proven the model. Your job is to run it well and scale. Think of companies like McDonald's or Starbucks, global giants, yet every branch you see is likely owned by someone like you who bought into the system. Here's how it works. You reach out to the brand and apply to open a franchise. There are usually 2 main costs: a franchise fee, an upfront cost to join the brand, and a percentage of your earnings that goes back to the company. In return, you get the blueprint, branding, processes, suppliers, training, everything you need to start strong. Some franchises start as low as $10,000, though the big names come with higher entry points. For instance, if you want to open a Dunkin' Donuts, the franchise fee can range between $40,000 to $90,000, depending on your location. But there's a catch. You'll also need at least $250,000 in liquid assets just to qualify. That's the company's way of ensuring you can keep things running, even through rough patches. The challenge? Picking the right franchise for your budget, location, and lifestyle. But if you choose wisely and run it right, you're not just buying into a business. You're buying into a proven path to financial freedom. Number 9, build a subscription service and let millionaire math do the heavy lifting. Let's break down a concept that quietly powers some of the most successful businesses today. Millionaire math. It goes like this. How many ways can you make $1 million in a year? Turns out quite a few. What if just 1,000 people paid you $84 a month? That's $1 million a year. Or flip the numbers. 5,000 people paying $17 a month. 2,000 paying $42. Even 300 people at $278 a month gets you there. This is the magic behind subscription-based businesses and why companies like Netflix, Spotify, and Apple Music have built empires around them. It's not about going viral once. It's about creating something people keep paying for month after month. Whether it's access to premium content, tools, a membership community, or a unique service, the key is offering consistent value that people want to stick with. You don't need millions of followers or a billion-dollar idea. You just need a few hundred loyal customers who believe in what you're offering. In the world of subscriptions, small numbers done right can lead to big wealth. Number 10. Work for someone who's already made millions, or better yet, billions. If you want to fast-track your way to wealth, one of the smartest moves you can make is to work directly for someone who's already there. Here's why. Ultra-wealthy individuals value one thing above all: time. And if you can help them save time or make more money, you instantly become valuable. Think of it this way. They've already built the map. Instead of wandering in the dark, you get to walk beside someone who's seen the terrain, made the mistakes, and found the shortcuts. The key? Bring value first. Not ideas, not pitches, value. Help them solve problems, make their life easier. And what you'll often find is that their generosity grows in proportion to your impact. But here's the catch. This only works if you've built a foundation of trust. No cold DMs about your world-changing idea. No spamming inboxes hoping for a shot. That rarely works, and often backfires. Surprisingly, about 1 in 5 millionaires didn't build companies from scratch. They built their fortunes by working for someone else. Usually, someone much wealthier, who saw their talent, took them under their wing, and opened doors few others could. If this is the path you choose, your best ally will be a mentor, someone who believes in your potential and gives you a platform to grow. And while mentors aren't always easy to find, especially in certain parts of the world, the right relationship can change everything. Sometimes the quickest way to build your own empire is to help someone else run theirs. Number 11. Build an app that 1 million people want to use. In a world where everyone's glued to their phones, the right app can quietly make you a millionaire if it solves a problem people actually care about. There's still a gold mine in the app world, but the key isn't just downloads, it's retention. If users don't feel a reason to come back, your app fades into digital dust. The apps that thrive today do more than just work. They embed themselves into daily habits. Whether it's tracking fitness, organizing finances, or turning idle moments into entertainment, the most successful apps become part of someone's lifestyle. And here's where it gets interesting. Modern apps don't just rely on purchase price. The real money lies in what happens after the download, in-app purchases, subscriptions, upgrades. When done right, even a free app can generate massive revenue. If you can offer something people use, love, and return to, you don't need to charge everyone a fortune. You just need to create enough value that a small percentage are willing to pay for more. And once you've got 1 million users, even a little value goes a long way. Number 12. Get 100,000 Twitch subscribers and turn streaming into your empire. In today's digital age, some of the world's most influential figures aren't actors or athletes, they're streamers. Platforms like Twitch have created a whole new class of celebrity, people who built their empires from bedrooms, armed with little more than a camera, a mic, and the charisma to keep viewers hooked. But let's be honest, making it big here isn't easy. To earn a living, you need to be in the top 1%. To get rich, the top 1% of the top 1%. Still, the playing field is open to anyone. No degree, no resume, no gatekeepers. You don't even have to show your face, you just have to be entertaining. Take Tyler Ninja Blevins. He wasn't born into fame. He started out as a competitive gamer grinding long hours, often with just a few dozen viewers. But everything changed when he leaned into Fortnite at exactly the right moment. With his colourful personality, high-level gameplay, and strategic brand partnerships, he exploded in popularity, pulling in tens of thousands of subscribers, brand deals with Red Bull and Adidas, and even collaborations with celebrities like Drake. At his peak, Ninja was reportedly making over $500,000 a month, just from streaming. Streaming has become more than entertainment. It's a legitimate business built on attention, community, and trust. And if you can grow your following to 100,000 loyal subscribers, you're not just a streamer, you're a media brand. In a world driven by connection, that kind of influence isn't just powerful, it's incredibly profitable. And finally, number 13. The most timeless rule in the hustler's playbook. This one goes all the way back to the roots of commerce. Buy, flip, repeat. It's capitalism in its purest form. Find something undervalued, buy it low, and sell it high to someone who's willing to pay a premium. That's it. Simple in theory, yet powerful in practice. People have done this with cars, houses, vintage watches, sneakers, antiques, even digital goods. The form evolves, but the principle stays the same. Understand value, spot opportunity, and move fast. And here's where it gets interesting. If you've made it this far, here's your bonus rule, something different. The kind of wild idea that sounds ridiculous until it works. Someone once made $15 million selling rocks as pets. Another guy made $1 million selling pixels on a blank website, one pixel at a time. And yes, there's even a woman who built a multi-million-dollar business selling sunglasses for dogs. Crazy? Maybe? Genius? Absolutely. Sometimes the most unconventional paths are the ones that actually lead to gold. So ask yourself, what can you create that's so unexpected it just might go viral? We want to hear from you. What's your play? What are you working on right now to reach your first million? Drop it in the comments. We read every single one, and who knows, we might even offer some feedback. If this list sparked something inside you, that little voice that says, I can do this, then don't let it fade. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for the next chapter of this journey. This is Sphere of Socialites, and we'll see you on the inside.